What up, what up, what up, what up, my peep? Listen, what's going on? I hope that you all are doing well, but listen, I had to come to you all today to talk to you about a former ANWA pastor in Huntsville, Alabama. Okay. And I do know that you also see Jessie Woo on the screen as well. Now, we're going to get into all of this. It is a bit going on, and I do want to talk about it. And listen, let me just say, disclaimer, okay? Disclaimer. I am just giving you all the information, okay? You do with it as you please. And I ain't got no problem with nobody involved, okay? I don't even know that man. I don't know Jessie Woo like that. I don't know nobody like that. Listen, but hold on. I need to invite you all to the Culture Table Summit that is happening on this Saturday, October the 18th, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Listen, it's free to register, but I would love for you all to participate in the VIP experiences as well, which include cooking experiences. It includes, business tips. It includes YouTube tips, podcasting tips, all of that. A virtual digital coupon book for Black-owned businesses, as along with a resource guide as well. So please make sure that you register. It is free to register, but I do encourage you to get the all VIP access for $27.50 is it, baby. All right, let's go. So y'all know every now and then I dip my foot into the church stuff, right? Well, listen, I want to talk to you about this pastor by the name of Adrian Davis, who was a former pastor over at the ANWA Church, which is ran by, or led by, I don't want to say ran, let me say led by Matthew Stevenson, who is in the middle of this thumbnail. Well, what I'm getting ready to do, and Jessie Woo, hopefully you don't get me or nothing like that, but I got some snippets from her live video that she did a couple of days ago about someone that she named the LA Swindler, who she had involvement with, romantic involvement with. And she came out 3 years ago about this, but she never gave a name. Well, now he's been convicted of taking the church's money, $400K of the church's money, and doing several different things with it, such as paying his mom's mortgage, getting cars, and all of that. Well, I'm going to play Jessie Woo, a couple of Jessie Woo's clips. There's another clip in this that is where she addresses Larry Reed. She addresses Larry Reed because Larry Reed did cover this story, and I don't really think she was happy with the way that he covered the story. I really don't have nothing to do with it. This is her opinion about it. I felt like, it was in the video, it was in the clip that I needed. So it is in here, and she is going to address him. I don't really have no thoughts on that. I don't feel no way. Like, I really don't. I don't feel no way because, people are going to cover this how they feel like they're going to cover this. And some people may not like my delivery and my coverage of this. So I get it. I understand it. So I ain't here to judge either party. But I did want to go ahead and forewarn you all that is in this video. There are a couple of other things to pay attention to in this as well. She's going to tell you how she met the man and all of that. And then we're going to come back and we're going to read the article that has been pasted on the internet. All right.
For alimony. Mind you, he's never taken care of my aunt financially. And I'm not understanding how money is tight.
Okay,
so
I think this is it.
I'm going to St. Martin for my birthday. And he was like, oh, well, I would love to come to St. Martin. And I was like, well, you know what? I already have a suite booked. Just buy your plane ticket. He's like, I wish I could, but money's tight right now. And I was like, it's $2,000 for the plane ticket. And you don't have to pay for the room. Like, I already have a suite and everything. You just buy your plane ticket and come. And he was like, yeah, but money's pretty tight right now. And so I was like, okay, I'm not understanding how money is tight for you because you live in a luxurious building. You drive a Wraith. You drive a Range Rover. Like, you have a third car. You're living in a very expensive building. And mind you, like in LA, to park your car in your building, it'd be like $300. That's like another car note. it's like another car note for you to just park your car in the building. I think like we didn't talk for like 2 days or something, whatever. But fast forward to my trip to St. Martin, like he sent me flowers to my room. He sent me a charcuterie board. He sent me some wine. He sent me some strawberries covered in chocolate. So I was like, okay, you know, I mean, at least, you know, he's kind of making some effort here. Boom. Now, when I come back from St. Martin, I'm telling my homeboy about this. And my homeboy's like, nah, Jess, something is off. And my homeboy actually had met him with me when I originally met him, and he was like, Jess, I've told you from day one, I feel like something's off with this man. I don't think he's honest about where he's at financially. So now fast forward to after my birthday, I had to come to LA. It was the Rap Shit premiere, and I stayed with him. Now let me tell you this, I think that this particular trip to stay with him was a big eye-opener because I was there for 5 days. I remember one time my aunt telling me, she was like, Jess, you know what? Before you marry a man, you really should live with a man. Like, you should. She's like, I know, like, you know, you're brought up very religiously. Jessie was really going through it with knitters back in it. Let me tell you. He's a knitter. God is good. God is good. But I'm just doing a little recap for those of y'all who didn't see this video. And that, you know, like, you're not supposed to do certain things before you get married, especially like as a Christian woman. But she was like, trust me, you should always live with a man. And, you know, this particular aunt, when she told me this with her husband and he married, oh my God, and for alimony, they don't do here in this house to pay this month, because I felt like when I was staying with him for those 5 days, I saw a lot of things. And honestly, I'm not even, if I told y'all everything this shit is like a fucking movie, but I'm gonna keep it surface level just for the sake of this video. I will say this. I noticed that he wasn't eating. I also noticed that he didn't have anything going on. Like, he wasn't going to work. He wasn't going to do anything, right? Now, like, I think like by the 3rd day, it was, oh, I'm gonna go into my office, and he was supposed to have a gig. The gig never. I'm gonna say one thing that I didn't say one thing I saw that I didn't talk about here was, I'm not sure if it's in this video or in my follow-up video, but Adrian Davis adopted, I believe, a 19-year-old girl when he was in his like early 30s, right? He adopted a 19-year-old girl, right? Which doesn't make any sense. And I think like in Alabama's one of those states where you can adopt like an adult. Anybody who has their Googles, y'all can look that up. Somebody said involuntary fasting. I'm screaming. But one thing that I did see that I didn't talk about in these videos was, I always thought that his relationship with his adoptive daughter was very strange. One thing that I saw was, while I was there, was the adoptive daughter was there, but I never saw her. Like, she just stayed in her room the entire time. And I would ask him, like, is she okay? Does she want anything? Maybe I said this in the follow-up video. I'm like, is she okay? Does she want anything? Does she want any food? Like days would go by, I didn't even see her eat. And then there was one point when her sister, so she had blood relatives in LA. Her sister came and stayed with her, with them. And they would just stay in the room. Like, it just was the most bizarre thing. I just remember thinking, what in the R. Kelly is happening? Like, why are these two grown women staying in this room and not coming out, not eating? And remember, I said even in this video too, I talked about the fact that he wouldn't even eat. Like, he didn't have anything in his fridge, no food in his fridge. But let me have said, oh, I'm about to order something on Uber Eats. Oh, can you get me? Oh, can you get me? Like, the man would be hungry and wasn't eating, but had a fleet of luxury cars. It made no sense. And the fact that you have this adoptive daughter and now her blood sister just staying in this room, not coming out, it just was the weirdest thing. It made no sense. It gave R. Kelly. Like, it really gave, like, what are they doing? Somebody said Ozempic household. Like, what? And, you know, I know we're having a little bit of a key, but it kind of gives like, okay, why are these women not feeling like they can come outside? Like, do they feel they are not allowed to come outside? Like, are you feeding them under the door? And mind you, like, when I would order food, and, oh, can you order me? I'll be like, does she want anything? No, she don't want anything. It just was the weirdest thing. It was the weirdest thing. But I'm trying to get to the point that made me do this video. It's 40 minutes long. I don't know if my transcripts, but make a long story short, if you watch this, it's a really good story. Just make some time. If you haven't seen the LA Swindler, go ahead and watch this video. But I told a story about how there was a day when he called me and he told me about how there was a church here in Atlanta that wanted him to come out and deliver, I think it was a sermon at a conference that they were having. And I was like, oh, that's great. Go ahead, like do it. And he's like, yeah, but no, remember, I left preaching behind. I said I was no longer going to preach. And I was like, well, don't do it. He's like, yeah, but money's tight right now. I could sure use the $10,000. And I was like, okay, then do it. Oh, but I left preaching behind. And I was like, is this motherfucker trying to ask me for $10,000? Like, it's like, how somebody's like, they're not asking you for something, but they're asking you for something. They're like testing the waters. They're testing your temperature to see if they can get you to give them the money. That's what made me make the video. Well, actually, it wasn't just that. It was the dry begging. And I was like, well, go do it. Like, if you're strapped for cash, go do it. And then I even told him, like, I think you should downsize. I think I said this in the video too. Hold on. Did I say this in the video? Oh, I closed the transcript. Hold on. I feel like I clicked on a segment of it that said it earlier, but I was like, I think you should downsize. Like, obviously you're not living within your means. Like, you should live within your means. And when I said that to him, that was our last conversation. That man never spoke to me again. And so I just so happened to look on my phone one day and, like, I think it was like on my Explore page, I saw him or someone taking a photo of him at the church that he was like, he didn't want to come to, that was here in Atlanta. Now, when we started dating, there was one time when we went on a date where he mentioned one girl, a specific girl to me that he was dating, that he had dated years prior to me that lived here in Atlanta. And so when I saw that he had come to Atlanta and didn't tell me, I reached out to her. And the moment I reached out to this young lady, she knew exactly what I was asking her about. Immediately, she knew who I called her about and why. And she was the one who revealed to me that this man was living a double, triple life, that he had taken all the church's money from Huntsville, that a lot of times when they were dating, that not only were people warning her about dating him, but because he was stealing money from the church, but also that he was sleeping with men from the church. Like, it was literally just very controversial. And he always denied it. And whenever things would, when he would be close to being exposed, it was always like, it became like a mental health thing. Oh my God, my mental health. Like, he was always able to like escape that and go to his mental health. And so, yeah, she even told me, like, when they were dating, that he would spend so much money on her, like taking her on luxurious dates, like taking her like to the mall, take her down to Hermes, pick whatever you like. Mind you, this man he was preaching. And he was preaching at ANWA. Like, it's not like, it's a big church, but it's not giving buy Hermes bags. Like, it's not giving that for days and days and days. But here he is. So this came out a couple of days ago. Former pastor accused of using over $400K of church funds on luxury goods, including cars. And before we get into this too, let me make something very clear. Because I caught a little bit of Larry Reid's live, which I thought it was very, like, I love Larry Reid down, but I thought it was very funny how he's switched up his speech. It's very clear that maybe Adrian's trying to snatch your booty up or something like that. I don't know what conversation Adrian gave you. I don't know if he told you that he's going to delete himself, which he's not going to do. I don't know if he, offered you his gigolo services, but when I was catching a little bit of Larry's live, like, I felt like he kind of alluded that this happened because of my video. I was never contacted by the authorities, ever. Jessie Woo was never contacted by the authorities. I never spoke to anybody in law enforcement about this man. However, I think because of my follow-up video where I explain, and we're going to go to the follow-up video. In my follow-up video, I was able to show screenshots and I was able to play recordings of previous members who said that this man was a thief and he wasn't just stealing money from the church. He was stealing money from church members. For instance, like, one thing he would do, he had these like, he wasn't pastoring anymore, but he was doing Bible study and he was taking up offering on his Bible studies. When he was doing his podcast, he was taking up, hey, if you want to donate to this, that, and third, this is going towards the work of the Lord. Like, he would even tell some members that he was down and out while he was in LA, that he fell on hard times. And so those members would actually send him money. There was one girl who came to me and said, yo, he baptized me one day and hunched me the next. Like, and then was taking her money. Like, these are the things that he was doing. And I don't understand, like, when I caught a bit of Larry Reed's live too, it was like, oh, I'm going to have grace, or I'm going to go easy. Like, I really don't understand how y'all be having so much grace for abusers. This man is an abuser. Adrian Davis is an abuser. He's a financial abuser. He's a scammer. He's a thief. He's a swindler. Financial abuse is a real thing. And the fact that this man was using God to do this, like, y'all be having so much grace for these men who use the word of God to abuse God's people. But y'all won't have that grace for the women who are his victims, ever. It's so weird. I find that to be so weird. It's so weird. What is that? What is that? Don't get me wrong. Like, pastors are not perfect. Y'all talk about my pastor all the time. Okay. Pastors are not perfect. I don't expect them to do that. But when you have a pastor literally using the word of God to swindle money out of people, mind you, these people are less fortunate than he is because he's taking up all their money. And he's not even taking their money up to do something constructive. No, he's taking their money to buy a Wraith, to buy a Rolls Royce, to buy BMWs, to buy luxury cars, to go to Hermes, to buy for his girlfriend who he's using as a beard, because we all know he likes it up the ass. Like, please be for real.
All right. So now we'll take the time to go ahead and read the article, and I will also put the article down in the description box of this actual video so that everyone that is interested in seeing it and going and making reference to it can do that for themselves. All right. If y'all could do me a huge favor, make sure y'all hit the like button on this video, hype this video up if you can, comment, let me know your thoughts, and we'll go from there. Former Huntsville pastor federally charged for using over $400K of church funds on luxury goods. Let's get into it. Huntsville, Alabama. A former Huntsville-led pastor is facing federal wire and tax fraud charges. Adrian Davis, the former lead pastor of All Nations Worship Assembly, is facing charges of wire fraud and filing a false tax return. According to court documents obtained by WAFF 48 News, Davis served as a marketing consultant for ANWA and received a salary and a percentage for his services. In return, Davis is accused of using the funds on cars, entertainment, and other personal expenses. Court records state that although ANWA authorized Davis to receive a salary, he was not authorized to use the funds for personal expenses, and the records state the following. In 2018, Davis used ANWA's funds to buy an Audi A7 vehicle for $30,000, and he spent $4,000 on miscellaneous entertainment and retail items not approved by ANWA. In 2019, Davis used ANWA's funds to buy a 2016 GMC Yukon for over $45,000. He spent more than $31,000 on miscellaneous entertainment and retail items not approved by ANWA. Davis used more than $10,000 of ANWA's funds to pay mortgage for his mother. Davis used ANWA's fund to make 41 payments of American Express totaling over $117,000 of personal credit card expenses. Purchases made on the card include Louis Vuitton for almost $5,000, $5,300 at Flight Club, a shoe store in New York. 2020, Davis used ANWA's funds to pay off a bank credit card for $18,000. God, dog, that he used to buy jewelry that he spent $7,000 on miscellaneous entertainment, not approved by them. He also used more than $14,000 of ANWA's funds to pay his own mortgage or to pay his mortgage for his mother, and 44 payments, to pay off an American Express card. So it goes on to also say that according to court documents, he used more than $400,000 of ANWA's funds on personal expenses. The court documents also claim that Davis wired $13,000 across state lines from ANWA's bank account at Redstone Federal Credit Union to American Express to pay off Davis's personal credit card. In 2021, Davis filed his tax returns, where the return reported that he received $138,000, but alleged he made more than that. On conviction of one count of wire fraud, in this information shall forfeit to the United States any property, real or personal, that constitutes or is derived from, directly or indirectly, proceeds traceable to commission of the said violations, including but not limited to a forfeiture of money, judgment, representation or representing, the amount of proceeds obtained as a result of the offense alleged. Federal court records show that Davis has signed a plea deal for both charges filed against him. As part of the plea deal, he will agree to the following: pay restitution of $434,000 to all nations, pay the IRS $115,000, waive certain rights to direct appeal. So the total restitution is over $500,000, y'all. All right. And if he is found guilty, all right, the maximum sentence is 20 years in prison, a fine of not more than $250,000, or both, supervised release no more than 3 years, and for the tax returns, a fine of no more than $250,000 and up to 3 years in prison. And he is going to be arraigned on October the 23rd at 9:30 a.m. So it just depends on what he pleads guilty to, if he pleads guilty or if he pleads not guilty. Listen, y'all, I thought that this was very interesting because I did think that this was crazy considering Jessie Woo's story. So I do want you guys to drop down in the comment section and kind of let me know what you guys think of this. I do want y'all to keep it respectful. I don't personally know anybody that is involved, but I'm just saying, please keep it respectful in the chat. I do know that this is an ongoing situation. As you can hear, Jessie Woo says that she has recordings and she has all of these different things. And I will put Jessie Woo's video down in the comment section below so that you guys can go check that out as well. But Jessie Woo did do a video on this a few days ago, and it is a very interesting video, but I did use a few clips just so that we can get an understanding of what was going on. And, you know, her being a celebrity and coming out and speaking on this, I thought was pretty interesting. So again, drop down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button on this video. If you want to bless the platform, Cash App $Chef DonDon 2, or if you would like to send a super chat or super thanks, whatever, I really do appreciate it. With that being said, I hope you guys, again, have a great rest of your day. Don't let the people get to you, child. Don't let the people get to you. All right. Have a good day. Have a beautiful day. And I'll see y'all later in the next one. Peace.